He says to me that every time that he fell down, you were always right there to pick him up, and that you warned him about this again and again and again and again and again. And that's why you're going through so much pain. Do you know what's so crazy? Your son was here with me before this event even started. Because early today, I woke up and there was a spirit by my bed and he says, my mother's gonna be there today. My mother's gonna be there. I'm like, who the hell are you? A lot of times what's crazy is that before you even get these tickets, your loved ones know how they can reach you and when they can reach you. And your son's coming through because right away he's saying to me, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He tells me you have his ashes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Letting you know that from the other side that he wants to thank you for the way that you've held on to him. He says, and Matt, he says, first of all, he says, I don't want to say too much. He says, because my mom replays my passing every single day within her head. Every day she thinks about the day that I died. And your son says to me one thing. He says, I need to let my mom know that the afterlife is real, that I did make it to the other side, and that I'm with her every day. He keeps saying to me in my ear, listen for the music, listen to the music. So that's his way of letting you know that he's with you right now, because he keeps saying to me, I send her the songs, I send her the songs. And he's going crazy right now because he's talking about the tattoo when I'm connecting with him. Oh, you already did, I'm sorry. He keeps saying to me about the tattoo. So when you got this in memory of your son here in this world, knows that he knows about that. I can't believe, because your loved ones, when they go to the other side, they don't change who they are. And he keeps saying to me, Matt, I can't believe it. I can't believe my mom did this for me. I can't believe my mom did this for me. But I also have to tell you this. When I'm connecting with him, he's bringing me back through everything and showing me all different pieces of his life. And when I'm connecting with him, he tells me that this was not the first time that he had issues with addiction here in the physical world. Because he shows me when I'm connecting, him trying to get better when I'm speaking to him. And he says to me, Matt, he says, my mom was always there and right by my side. He wants to thank you for that. He also tells me about the clothes that you kept of his here in the physical world. Because he talks about shirts and things that you still have of his here in this world. He says, Matt, please thank my mom. Please thank my mom. He says, but him coming through right now is for a reason. He says, Matt, he says, I want to let my mom know that throughout life, he says, trouble just kept trying to find me, he said. And he tells me, like, from when he was younger, he talks about the fact, sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but your son's showing me pictures of his life, and he goes, Matt, my mother was up to school more than the teachers were, he says to me. He says that you were constantly, all the time, fighting his battles, fighting his battles, fighting his battles, trying to keep him in school, trying to make sure he was doing well, all of these things. Yeah. And he also tells me at one point, there was also issues with him and the police as well, he's telling me. He says to me when I'm connecting with him that he was always having issues with his car. He shows me him getting pulled over.
He did always have issues with his cars.
And you understand about him being pulled over because he didn't want to fix the car.
Yes.
Because he's going to me, Matt, I didn't want to register the car because I didn't want to, he says, I didn't want to have to go and pay for it, he says to me. He says, I spent my money on other things. He's bringing through.
Yeah.
Because I see the car being pulled over, and I think at one point either it was towed, something happened because he's bringing that through because he's showing me those visions. And your son's saying to me when I'm connecting this, he says, Matt, please tell my mom one thing. He says, throughout his life, he says to me that every time that he fell down, you were always right there to pick him up. And that you warned him about this again and again and again and again and again. And that's why you're going through so much pain. He says, but I'm here to let my mom know one thing. He says, she protected me in so many different ways. He says, and there was never a time when I got to say thank you. He says, so Matt, I'm taking this opportunity to do so now. Because he shows me that it's been so hard since your son's passing. He tells me that you have not wanted to celebrate the holidays, like Christmas, that you don't want to put up a tree, you don't want to decorate, you don't want to do any of those things.
Yes.
So know that your son says to me this. He says, Matt, please tell my mom, I need her to put the tree up, to decorate the tree. He says, to celebrate the holidays, and know that I am there. He says, because at the end of the day, he says, my passing hurt one person the most. He says, and it was you. He says, and just because I died, he goes, I don't want you to have to take your life away because of me. He says, because Matt, see what my mom's doing now, being here? She would never do this. She would never come to any events or things like that. He says, she spends so much time by herself, and that's not the mom that I know. So your son says to me that you said, well, if I hear from him, if I know that my son's okay, I can live life again. Because you feel like your heart has been missing. Your son said to me one thing. He says, Matt, can you do one thing? Can you give my mom a hug from me? Let her know that I'm safe and at peace. Let her know that I'm okay. He says, and please let her know that when I died, this was an accident. I have to tell you that. He said, I didn't mean to do this. All right?